Today we're in conversation with Shirley Maltzer, a registered dietitian, has a master's in nutrition, and you've been in the industry for almost 40 years.
Don't remind me.
That's quite a track record. What does a registered dietitian do?
So a registered dietitian is uniquely qualified to really work with people across the spectrum, the age spectrum and the wellness and illness spectrum. So looking to optimize nutrition for outcomes. I like to think of sort of outcomes-based nutrition, but outcomes for health, wellness and performance in a sustainable way.
I like that part where you say sustainable. I mean, since I've been working with you, I struggled with my eating plans because I've always had so many diets and fads that it always seemed to tend to extremes. And I think working with you, it's been sustainable outcomes. It becomes a lifestyle. And I've really enjoyed that part of the experience.
Well, I'm not surprised that for many it would be really quite a challenge to negotiate the food space because there are so many confused messages out there. So how does an individual actually go into a supermarket and know what to choose and how to put that together in a menu for themselves and for their families?
I remember the day you said to me, Dalton, have some carbs. Now, it's obviously different for everybody, but that was almost life-changing. To have some carbs in my meal, and it's been sustainable, so it's enabled me to reach different levels of performance over a longer period.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is to understand that each person might respond in a different way and has unique needs. Yeah. And so that's really what a dietitian would do, is to actually match the need of the person to an appropriate intervention.
So let me shift now to the corporate space. So I'm managing staff, and I'm wanting to use nutrition to drive employee well-being and productivity in the workspace. Do you have examples of what you've done before?
I've been involved in many different projects. One that springs to mind is when I was called in by a shipping company because they were losing a lot of seafarers to hypertension and to diabetes and to chronic diseases of lifestyle, like also cardiac problems. And what was fantastic about that opportunity is that I was given a blank canvas. So I travelled on the ship and could really get a real-time, hands-on sort of learning experience as to what the challenges were. And they were so varied. It was from, there was absolutely no training on nutrition. So the cooks didn't even, weren't cooking appropriately. The food choices were inappropriate. The exercise facilities were inappropriate. So we were able to intervene on many, many different levels. And this in the end saved the company a lot of money as well.
So there were outcomes, specific outcomes that you achieved there from the bottom line perspective. How did the staff take to the whole process?
Oh, they loved it. We ran cooking courses where they got certificates. So they developed skills as well. What I call sort of nutritional. I like to think of it actually as sort of nutritional life skills.
And they can take that from the workspace into their home space, and affect their families in a positive way.
Sure.
I love it. I love it how it's connected. Okay. Any other work? I know you mentioned you do some work with sports teams.
Oh, I've worked with sports teams across, from development sports to international top level, the highest level athletes. And, sometimes one can almost think of the corporate as a corporate athlete. But in those scenarios, to give you some examples, if an international team would be traveling to South Africa, travel fatigue can be quite a stress. You think of the corporate as well with travel and travel fatigue. And in those instances, I may have actually researched restaurants ahead of time, made booking selected options within those restaurants that may be appropriate. So there's a whole plan. And I think for everybody, you need a plan, but how do you know what the plan should be?
I love that what you said now, the corporate athlete, and to use some of those skills in the workspace as well.
Yeah, so I think the thing is that so much time is, if you just also think of an athlete looking at time spent training, the pressure around competition as well, and you think of the stress and the time that a person spends going to work as well. And
the pressure of a scorecard.
How do you actually capitalize on the time that you actually spend at work? How do you capitalize on the time that you might go even to the gym as a corporate? And ensure that you're getting the most out of your time in the gym. So it's about efficiency as well.
Shirley, why is nutrition so important for mental health?
There are a number of ways that nutrition can impact on mental health. Think of mood and food. So there's studies now to show that what you eat can impact on your gut. Your gut is your second brain. That impacts on your other brain. And there's a sort of cross-conversation all the time. Also, think of food and stress.
Yeah.
It's a bi-directional relationship. So what you eat can impact on stress, but stress can also impact on diet. Those are just two examples.
Interconnected.
Yeah.
Amazing. Shelley, final words for our employees and employers?
Well, food is everything for the employees. Food can be a fabulous, fun, enjoyable way to communicate and also to improve health and performance and outcomes. And for the employers, think increased productivity, increased outcomes, and happy, healthy employees.
Looking forward to seeing what we can do in the corporate space and just to change lives. And remember, that's our message. We want to transform lives in the workplace. And another reminder that we are relational, not transactional, and we can't wait to work with you.